Hello, pocket knife community, knife lovers, knife enthusiasts, interested viewers. Folder here. It's almost like what flavor do you want? Right? It's almost like what flavor ice cream do you want? You know, when you have a particular knife in different configurations, okay? We kind of always don't want the same knife. You know, different configurations give different options and how you actually use the knife, how it actually feels in hand, what you might use it for, depending on that configuration. So my first Bodacious was this knife here. It started out G10. It's the satin finish G10. I put the rock scale, titanium scales on this with my short clip because I wanted this to be my daily driver. And it is in fact my daily driver. I use this knife all the time. Almost every day I carry this thing. I actually dropped it and the tip got chipped off a little bit. It's okay. The edge is still really good, so I'm not going to sharpen it. When I do sharpen it, I'll fix that tip. And I'm extremely satisfied with this knife. I'm not going to go into the whole review of this knife. You could just search back one of my other videos if you want to hear, and see my review on it. But putting these scales on this thing has made this knife it's a tank. It is a tank EDC knife right here. I mean, this thing definitely, is something that I don't mind beating on at all. So yeah, but at any rate, this was the first flavor, and I went titanium, okay, because I just wanted that durability. I wanted something that, I didn't have to worry about. I'm not going to worry about no scratches on this thing. I'm not going to worry about the titanium scales getting scratched up, the clip getting scratched up, nothing. This is a user, okay? So yeah, that was the first set in the titanium. My next Bodacious is, what the heck happened here? I don't know. It's got some stuff on my G10. My next Bodacious is the black DLC coated Bodacious. I kept the original OEM configuration except for the short, deep carry pocket clip. So aside from that, I did not change the scales on this, and I'm keeping this in this configuration. This is black, like I said, black. They call this smooth G10, and it is smooth if you compare it to other G10, but I have some G10 that's actually smoother than this. But I would agree that it is smooth G10. Black DLC blade. Aside from that, it's the same thing. And what I like about these types of scales, I love the OEM scales for the Bodacious. Okay, I like the front turn on the index, which actually, in my opinion, eliminates the need for a front finger choil and gives you maximum cutting surface. And I love the way the Bodacious is squared off as opposed to the Shaman that's rounded. Not knocking the Shaman, but I like the squared off scales of the Bodacious. And also the fact that the scales have this contouring where the fingers go. I think it adds depth and substance to the handle, especially for a knife of this caliber. And I love the way that is. They do have aftermarket scales that are slim already. I've seen a few that eliminate this hump here. Listen, what makes the world so beautiful is everybody's different. I think diversity is very different, is a good thing, because some people like it one way, some people like it another. I definitely like the Bodacious with this extra little hump. I wouldn't want a scale that was thinner and scaled down. That would reduce the amount of volume in my hand. I wouldn't want that for this knife. So any aftermarket scales I buy would have to definitely have that hump. Like the factory scales, the OEM from Spyderco. This is, like I said, completely unchanged and it has that hump. Okay, so my second knife was the G10 version of it. Okay, which gives me that, that variety. And I went with the black DLC. You could go with G10 with the satin also, but I went with the black DLC. And my third version of this knife might be my favorite, is the canvas micarta. And it's amazing. When I first got into knives, I was totally, excuse me, totally not into canvas micarta. I didn't like canvas micarta. I was like, oh, that's dirty. I don't like the way the oils come off it. I don't like the patina, the way it looks old. Now, I love it because it's the feel, it's the feel. Micarta has that amazing in-hand feel that feels organic. It feels natural. It feels like a natural substance. The grip is just absolutely spectacular. And the already amazingly good and i.e. neutral, hand positions for the Bodacious is emphasized even more with these scales. But as you see, it is these are the Anso my canvas micarta scales. They do duplicate the OEM scales. They do have the same hump in them. Okay, that same hump, which is very nice. Yeah, this thing is beast right here. Absolutely. So as you see, my Bodacious collection is growing. When I first got this knife, I knew that this would be a knife that I would have multiple versions of. That's how much I like it. I have more Spyderco PM2s than any other model. The Bodacious one day, more likely than not, will rival my PM2 collection, which is double figures, double digits. I think I have 12 of them, or 13 or something like that. I just brought this Shaman into the mix here. I've had this knife. This was my first Shaman I bought. Shaman fans, don't hurt me. But, I'm not that big of a Shaman fan. I already stated the reasons why I don't love the Shaman. I don't hate the Shaman either, but I don't love it. I got it because I don't think any true Spyderco collector could possibly not have a Shaman. It's just certain models in the Spyderco collection that you couldn't call yourself a legitimate collector if you didn't own one. So that's why I bought the Shaman. This happens to be the Big Bear version of it, Big Round Bear version of it, and it comes in. It's in 15V with his special heat treat. But as you can see, the scales on this are very smooth, much smoother than these, and they're contoured, which is not something that I'm a fan of. It's one of the reasons why I never was a huge Shaman fan, because I actually don't like the way the scales feel in hand. Very comfortable, don't get me wrong, very comfortable. Just comfort is amazing. I just don't feel confident with them, and this being smooth just reinforces that lack of confidence. But as you can see, these all have the the short deep pocket clip. I did not put one on my canvas micarta because I was debating what I was going to use this knife for, what the purpose of it was going to be. So I didn't want to just put a deep pocket clip on there. I might not want a deep pocket clip. Sometimes I want that, you know, I want that sticking out of my pocket because I want to really be able to grab it quick. I don't want to, you know, make sure that there's no slipping getting out of my pocket. Like I said, I don't know exactly the purpose of it, so I just kept the OEM clip on this one. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to do a quick video showing the different versions of the Bodacious. I will say that before I started the video, I weighed all these knives because they had different materials, and the actual weight of the knives are it's really pretty much insignificant. This knife happens to be 5 ounces, and that's only because this is a Shaman, and the Shaman is a thicker knife than the Bodacious. So this came in at 5 ounces. The titanium Bodacious came in at 4.7 ounces, which is, you know, 0.3 ounces off the Shaman, which this is a big, heavier knife. Okay, but that's with the titanium scales. The OEM factory Bodacious, unchanged. Well, actually, the clip is different, right? So that would change the weight. But aside from that, with these scales, the G10 came in at 4.3 ounces. So there's a big difference between 4.3 and 5.0. Huge difference in G10. But like I said, the Shaman's a thicker knife. It has thicker blade stock. Okay, but this came in at 4.3, and the canvas micarta came in at 4.4. 4.4, 4.3, 4.7. Okay, so the titanium is actually heavier, which titanium is a light metal, but it ain't gonna be lighter than this. These composites are gonna be very light. So, but though that weight is insignificant, it's inconsequential, you know, amount of weight. It's not like it's a whole ounce or something, you know. But at any rate, all right, that's it. Just wanted to really give people an idea of what, you know, the 3 different versions so far, all in S30V, canvas micarta, smooth G10, and titanium. All right, that's all I got. Thanks.